To my early risers, are you tired of not having anything to do early in the morning? Well, guess what? I'm bringing to you the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, where we get to know what to do in the morning on the Morning Daily Habits. We'll get some updates on what's happening in the news and current affairs. And guess what? If you're one person who is never on social media, I will be here to also update you on the trending stories. Catch me every day from Monday to Friday at 7 hours to 9 hours, where you get more on the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, because we're here to lighten up your day. So stay tuned to the finest television. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. I'm your
host, beautiful Wednesday morning, the 2nd of June 2021. I'm counting. We are in June. It's a new month. Of course, it's a new day, new opportunity to start all over again. Sibongile, you know, we are alive. New mercies.
Of course, it's a Wednesday. It's a ladies' Wednesday.
Fresh start. Yes, it's a ladies' day. Ladies' day. There's such a thing. But it's good to be with you this morning. It's good to be in your homes, on your screens, on your phones, on your laptops. Whatever you're using to be with us this morning, we're so grateful that you could tune into KBN TV, the finest television, and we want to hear from you. Ladies, we want to hear what you're planning for today. Yes, where you're watching us from, you're free to do so by going to our Facebook page, KBN TV. Get liking, get commenting, get sharing. We want to engage, we want to interact, we want to have a chat. And also, please tell us what it is that's happening in your area, okay? We want to know what's trending, the trending stories, what's hot and kicking in your area. And this morning we have an amazing lineup for you this morning. We have we're going to be coming up with our weather and our money markets, with our COVID-19 daily update, as well as what is trending on social media, some of the stories making news in social media, not forgetting the fact that we are also just going to go back and see what stories made headlines yesterday in the news. And also we're going to be joined, hopefully, by Precious Kaniki via a video interview. She's an HIV and AIDS activist, and we just want to talk about some of the things that she's doing on the ground. And so, yes, we're going to have an amazing time, so don't go away. But first, before we get into our day, we just want to start our day with a word of God. As always, Sibo, yes, we don't want to start anything here on this show without acknowledging that God is the reason why we are alive today, and He's at the center of everything that we do. So today, I'm going to start by asking you a question, Sebongile. If you were to ask for one thing from God, what is the one thing you'd ask Him?
That's like gunpoint.
Yes, but then obviously you have all those things that you need. Yeah. But then what's the one thing that if God came to you, like the way He went to Solomon, He said, "Sibo, what can I do for you, my daughter? I found that you are very pleasing to me."
Long life for my family, of course.
Really? All right. So anyways, yes, very important. That's what you want, and I'm sure God would give that to you. But then this morning we just want to talk a little bit about something else, you know, that God would want us to have, you know. Okay. And I'm reading from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7. I'm reading from the King James Version. It says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding." You see, the thing is, the Bible is telling us wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom with all thy getting. So I think God is now, the Bible is telling us that before anything else, I think it's important to have wisdom. And I agree. Because remember when God went to Solomon, God asked Solomon, "What is it that you want?" God says, Solomon answered God and said, "Give me wisdom to be able to rule the people that you have given me." Yeah. And then God said, "You have asked for a wise thing. Instead of asking for wealth and riches and the death of your enemies, you asked for wisdom." And we see that God gave Solomon wisdom. And everything else. Wisdom was one of the richest kings in his time. He was the richest king in his time. The Bible says that he was the richest king before, even after. No king was as wealthy as Solomon. But now, when we're talking about wisdom, what is wisdom? First of all, I think wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge, you know. And also, when I read a definition of wisdom, it says the wisdom is the quality of having experience, good judgment, and knowledge, the quality of being wise. It's very, very important that we get wise. Because Sibongile, you know that even if you have so much money, but if you lack wisdom, how are you going to use that wisdom? Exactly. If, for example, they are looking for a solution, if you don't have wisdom, how are you going to be able to come up with that? So wisdom is a principal thing. Because for me, I'd rather have wisdom. Because when I have wisdom, I'll know how to make money. When I have wisdom, I'll know which place to invest in that will bring me profit. When I have wisdom, I'll know how to be able to say certain things that will influence influencers. You understand what I mean? If you get what I mean. The people that make decisions, for example, if they came to me, if they knew that I had wisdom and then they did not have solutions, they would come to me and I'll be the one that gives them advice. And at the end, in the long run, they'll be able to make sound decisions. So I think wisdom is the principal thing. And then wisdom will help you even to make quality decisions. When you are wise, you know that I can't go left. I have to go right. When you are wise, you will know that I cannot say this. Because remember that when we say so many things, that so many people rather have said a lot of things even on social media and they've ended up being in trouble. But wisdom will tell you, see, well, here you can't say this. You know, wisdom will help you to conduct yourself in a certain way. Because you are taught that you're a lady, you have to walk a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have to eat a certain way. So wisdom will distinguish you. Wisdom will make you stand, you know, you'll be set apart. Like, you know, you have good qualities and people will tell you, she's wise. Wisdom will help you to behave in a certain way with certain people. Wisdom will even help you at school. You understand? It takes wisdom to do a lot of things. So wisdom is a principal thing. The Bible is telling us wisdom, principal thing means the most important thing. Wisdom is number one. It's cardinal. You need to have wisdom. And then how can you have wisdom? You may ask, you know, because sometimes we're not born with wisdom. How do you get wisdom? The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. When you read Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 17, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. When you acknowledge that God is supreme, when you acknowledge that God is number one in your life and you begin to live a life that is pleasing of God, He'll impart wisdom, because wisdom is a gift, again. Because not everybody is born with wisdom. Wisdom is a gift, and sometimes wisdom is something that you need to seek out. You need to ask God, I need wisdom. I tell God, most of the times when I'm praying, I tell God, you know what, Lord, give me wisdom even just to do my job. You know what I mean? Give me wisdom on how to relate with people. So wisdom is very, 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 very important. And so unless you've got something else to say concerning this, Sibo.
No, this is something that I did not even think about, because I thought you would even narrate a bit after I answered the question. But wisdom is something that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, but it's very, very, very important. We need to have wisdom, even especially now that we are in times of the political campaigns. The atmosphere, the environment is a bit tense. You know, people's hearts are agitated, so you'd want to know exactly what to say, because you know what I mean? You're on the bus, people are talking politics, and you end up saying something, and then you end up just agitating people further. So wisdom will carry you through life. Wisdom will prolong your days. Wisdom will help you even to choose your life partner. Yes, because you're going to be discerning. You know, wisdom gives you discernment. And so if you're just watching us, this is all that we had for you on our Word for Today segment. It came from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7 rather. It says that wisdom is a principal thing. In all you're getting, get wisdom. In all you're getting, get understanding. Very, very important. So as you go about your business, you need wisdom even for business. You need wisdom for school. You need wisdom to be a good wife, to be a good mother. You need wisdom to be a good friend. You know what I mean? You need all those things. You need wisdom. So wisdom is a principal thing. As you go about your business today, as you go about your job, whatever it is that you're doing, take note that you need wisdom. And to make it in life, you just need wisdom. So we pray that God will give us wisdom for whatever it is that we're doing, and at the end of the day, all glory will go back to God. And so we're going to take a short break, but still to come, we're here to give you an update on our weather as well as our money markets. Don't go away.
resemblance to you. Our father.
So many for don't say today some papatira kuno nine.
I told you that I don't want you. Should acquire.
Wewe ni kwatira ma plans, our future plans. Tuikare pam.
I am in love with someone else. Stay away from my life.
Akuchora nintiti. Kamsikana kaze kumwenda nako.
So ndiye viwani nini hapa?
Ile tukuchange zenko.
Me, I don't care. I get the point. Go and tell them that the guy is ready for it.
Akuchora nintita. Una nikatupi ngati mosquito.
Now shimone myefu. Ni lion mujango. Kango munda wanga ine kukuipaya. So yumuka yobara kama ashakare tubikira pona kwa.
Where you from there?
Toma nepe. Now pika not to my headset. Hello, ira pompa muntu andine kupomporora.
Makamba tikashitetsani akakanzi.
Nikakare pwa kafuka fanisha.
Mwachi.
That girl bafika nawo kuzona.
Na rekwewa nje birure puta afa kupomporora.
Sinza kabweza hapo.
Tawika bwekesha hapo.
Boss nambera ba boss.
Ngawekesha hapo next time kukufanisha. Now wamona abantu and very ready to give.
Very much late wambera.
Wirangara. Remfu.
Lasa na wambera. Mwachi ni wa mkango wa wambera ka. Written and directed by Kaonga Mpanga Viela. Coming soon.
Welcome back to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. If you're just joining us, or you missed the first and most important segment of the day, which is the word of the day. And you know how we love to start our day on the word of God. So remember to be interactive. If you're watching us via our Facebook page, feel free to be interactive. Drop the comments. Tell us where you're watching us from. So right about now, we'll start with the weather update before we go into our money markets. And our weather for today, we have Lusaka is at about 16 degrees Celsius and mostly cloudy, and the humidity is at 27 degrees. And in Livingstone, the weather is at 11 degrees Celsius. It is partly cloudy. It is partly sunny actually in Livingstone. In Dola, the weather is at 15 degrees Celsius and it is partly cloudy. And in Solwezi, the weather is at 13 degrees Celsius and it is also partly cloudy in Solwezi. In Chipata, it is at about 17 degrees Celsius. It is also partly cloudy in Chipata, and in Chinsali it is 16 degrees Celsius. It is also partly cloudy. Humidity is at 29. Choma is 12 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny. It is mostly sunny in Choma, and the humidity is at 26. In Mongu, the weather is at 12 degrees Celsius. It is partly cloudy as well. Kasama, it is 16 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. Mpika is at 15 degrees Celsius. It is also partly cloudy. And in Kawe, it is at 15 degrees Celsius. It is mostly cloudy. And in Mansa, 16 degrees Celsius. It is partly cloudy.
All right, so most of the country is cloudy today. But places like Choma is quite sunny today. Livingstone is sunny as well. Lusaka is mostly cloudy today, which means it's going to be a bit cold today, because I'm seeing that we expected high temperatures are only 27 degrees Celsius and lows of 14 degrees. Lusaka is not very cold today. It's warm. It's actually 16 degrees Celsius, so it's a bit warm, and as the day progresses we see it's going to be a bit warm, but then I think later on in the evenings it's going to be a bit cold. But I think as of yesterday, it's not been very, very cold.
Yeah.
All right, so here's an update on our money markets, and our money markets look like this. The United States dollars is buying at 22 kwacha 13 ngwe and selling at 22 kwacha 72 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 31 kwacha 59 ngwe and selling at 32 kwacha 19 ngwe. The Euro is buying at 27 kwacha 12 ngwe and selling at 27 kwacha 63 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 1 kwacha 61 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 64 ngwe. And in this segment, we also just want to bring you an update on the COVID-19, the daily update for COVID-19 as at yesterday, the 1st of June 2021. Yesterday, there were confirmed cases of 558 COVID-19 cases, and that brings the cumulative figure to 95,821. And recoveries are at 83, and that brings the cumulative recoveries to 92,039. From the tests done so far are 8,000. Yesterday's tests were at as at yesterday, the tests that were conducted were 8,070 kwacha. I beg your pardon, 8,070. That brings the cumulative tests to 1.565 million, 1,565,154 cases, and the vaccinated for first dose as of yesterday there was 0, but the cumulative figure of those that have received the first dose of the vaccination are 141,934. For the second dose there was still 0. There was still no one vaccinated, but then the cumulative number of people that have received the second dose of the vaccination is 5,286. And COVID deaths, as of yesterday, there was 1 COVID death. That brings the cumulative number to 722. And COVID-19 associated deaths, there was none recorded yesterday. But for cumulative number of COVID associated deaths, there's been 560 people. And so that brings the total deaths of COVID-19 to 1,282. So that is, and also currently hospitalized, there is 122 people. And community management is 2,378. That brings the total of active cases to 2,500. So we have 2,500 active cases of the COVID-19 as we speak right now, and we've had a cumulative total deaths of 1,282. That is a big number. It is a big number, and so we need just to be very, very careful, because now the COVID-19 third wave is upon us. So we need to take extreme caution, extreme care of ourselves and of our loved ones. Make sure that we follow the guidelines. Wear your masks at all times, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Make sure that you wear your mask. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands with an alcohol. With water and soap. But also, if you, in the absence of that, please make sure that you use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid unnecessary travel. And then, if you need to stay at home, please make sure, unless it's extremely important and urgent. So the COVID-19 is upon us, and we're going to be bringing you updates on a daily basis as we receive them, just so we can keep everybody abreast of where the COVID-19 advancement. It's serious.
It is serious.
It's serious.
Because now any flu like you get, you feel like it's COVID.
I'm so skeptical. I'm very cautious about any symptoms in my body, but also, most importantly, you see, the thing is, the COVID-19 has got different dynamics.
Yeah.
The first time it hit, it had flu-like symptoms. You'd have the normal colds. You feel feverish. You have the headache. It's a normal cough. But then the second wave, we saw that it had a different dynamic altogether. It was going straight for the lungs. And because remember, COVID-19 is a pneumonia-like virus. So it's been presenting itself very different. So we don't even know what the third wave dynamic is. So you might want to be, some people said you even have rash. Some people say you even have, I spoke to a medical doctor over the weekend, and she says sometimes it's presenting itself as stroke. So So now you don't know how COVID-19 is presenting itself, so you might want to be extremely, extremely cautious because we don't know the dynamics. Even the experts themselves don't know the dynamics. So the best way to fight the COVID-19 is just to prevent it. Prevention is better than cure. So if you're watching us, please take note. Make sure, I know that it's getting cold now and we still have school going children going to school. Make sure that the kids are protected. Pack some sanitizer for them, pack extra masks for them. And also the school authorities should make sure that there's social distancing. You know, wherever you are, just be cautious, because now you and I know how it is when you're on the bus. People are so carefree. You go to town. It's almost as if there's no COVID. Yeah, but then I think we take it upon yourself as an individual to protect yourself and those around you. I think that's our responsibility. We're going to take a short break, but still to come, we hope we can be able to get Precious Kaniki via video interview and just have a conversation around HIV and AIDS, or living with HIV and AIDS. Don't go away.
Hello, Nachuama. Hello, road network. My bridge.
Gana hospital. Ma hospital in Palampala.
Patients and the community are really appreciating this provision.
Gama school.
Learn freely without even being bothered about the school fees, because we know that the government are paying for us.
In a month, na kuchevicha pama nsomba.
Aqua counter.
Na vama light vija.
Energy sector.
Keep an eye on development every Thursday at 19 hours and every Saturday at 17 hours. Only on KBN TV, the finest television.
Truth is, I gave up on love. Every time I got involved, my heart got broken. Was I cursed in this department? My friends got talking. It feels like I've always been single. And when I chilled with a girl, she was only trying to mingle. The last one said she would never leave, till I caught her with her ex. I couldn't believe. Then I did a lot of wrong to numb the pain. They say hurt people. No clue what to do with a heart that's broken. Can I run to you while your arms wide open? Do you understand the pain I'm going through? I just wanna heal. What do I have to do? They say time is the best healer. And so I run to the maker of time. He must be a better healer. Yeah. Mama told me when they walk away and turn their back, let them go, you don't have to fight them back. In itself it's a blessing, it's a recipe, cause maybe they will stand in the way of your destiny. My son, trust God, you should never question. The power of goodbye is the hardest lesson, but it's only when you learn how to let go that you receive what the Lord has in store. But then I'm blinking really hard, fighting tears in my eye, Then mama tells me it's okay if you cry, but mama, you know the clock is ticking, and I'm now over 30 and I'm tired of waiting. Then she says be still, his word is forever. God will keep his promise, he will make you as she favor. Knowing my mama is a wise woman, I take heed, I let go and forgive. Beautiful, better than before. Instead of asking why, I will trust you when I fall. You make it all beautiful, better than before. Instead of asking how, I will hold you even more. When one door closes, you open up a better one. Here's my rib, make me another one. When one door closes, you open up a better one. Teach me how to love and to make you my number one. Here's my rib, make me another one. When one door closes, you open up a better one. Teach me how to love and to make you my number one. One door closes, you open up a better one. Here's my rib, make me another one. When one door closes, you open up a better one. Teach me how to love and to make you my number one.
Won't put up a fight. Now the world is telling me to give up, but Lord, please don't let me go.
Shonshi yanganchifya muno chalo chakowela vibandanshi finga wisho mutende palinde ne mwana wa mfumu nangulilya na pakaswa shitina neryo chimo weo andi wasango buchingo mwishineli achila mashina yonse
chinilile nyumweo andi lesa tata mubena ine tungulule ninkasa
ligeni kumutima wanditata uko kule umapa mulandu nechilaka ichilake chachile chansebula dekabilo busuwa wenu palinde kanjile kendi ntonde ishinalyenu tata ilioli asakilwe pamembushandi ntile haleluya shinalyenu libelia palwa
Chinileni umweo wandi desatata mube naine tungululeni nkasa shandi nendo lendo pamona bashira Chinileni umweo wandi desatata mube naine tungululeni nkasa shandi nendo lendo pamona bashira Nabashira Chinileni umweo wandi desatata mube naine tungululeni nkasa shandi nendo lendo pamona bashira Chinileni umweo wandi desatata mube naine tungululeni nkasa shandi nendo lendo pamona
Hello to my early risers. Are you tired of not having anything to do early in the morning? Well, guess what? I'm bringing to you the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, where we get to know what to do in the morning on the Morning Daily Habits. We'll get some updates on what's happening in the news and current affairs. And guess what? If you're one person who is never on social media, I will be here to also update you on the trending stories. Catch me every day from Monday to Friday at 7 hours to 9 hours, where you get more on the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, because we're here to lighten up your day. So stay tuned to the finest television.
Hello, good morning and welcome back to Daylight Breakfast Show with me, Rachel Mumba and Sebongile Lombanya. In case you're just joining us, well, I think you've missed quite a lot because we've already covered a lot of ground this morning. We had our word for today, we had our money markets, our weather update, as well as the COVID-19 daily update. And so if you missed that part, you're free to go back to our Facebook page, KBN TV, and be able to watch that because we're streaming live. And also, we just want to have an interaction with you. We want to know where you are watching us from, what it is that you are doing. Ladies, what is your plan?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. I hear that Wednesday is Ladies' Day, Ladies' Night. What are you doing?
Generalize it. It's our day.
It's our day, huh? What are you doing? Are you going for that hairdo? Are you going for those nails? Are you being pampered for lunch? Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you're having a lot of fun. Make sure that you are enjoying yourself, because, I mean, we only have one life to live. And so if you are just joining us on this segment, we're here to just give you an update on what is trending on social media. Nkani, gist, mulomo, mulomo, as they call it, yeah? And so we're just here to just share some of the things that making headlines on social media. We don't know everything. We don't know whatever it is that's happening everywhere, but you are free to tell us what is happening. What is the latest? What's going on? We want to know. We want to engage. We want to interact with you. And so, Sibongile, what do we have today?
Well, sadly, we are starting on a very sad note.
Okay.
So we have UPND Katombola aspiring candidate Clement Andaleki, who was involved in a road accident yesterday.
Oh, it's sad.
He went for campaigns.
Does that say whether he's okay? What happened?
No, at the moment there are no details yet.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no details as of yesterday. Maybe there is somewhere that I haven't come across, but there are no details yet.
Quite sad.
It's very, very sad.
It's very sad.
And we don't know if he was intoxicated. And the comments that were going around, he could have been intoxicated, or maybe there was some excitement somewhere, or maybe he lost control due to the other driver's confusion. So, yeah.
In any case, it's very, very sad. An accident is an accident. You know, it's not a good thing to be involved in a road traffic accident, particularly now that he went to campaign. We can only pray that he's all right and that we can wish him a quick recovery. I don't know why people like to always apportion blame. Like, you know, maybe he was this, maybe he was that, maybe he was this or that. But it's not a good thing. Sometimes you find that you're a perfect driver on the road. And you haven't done anything wrong. Somebody from somewhere will just come and just mess things up for you. So we don't, I don't know where our humanity has gone as a people. We like to just, you know, point fingers and, you know, I think over and above, it's sad that he was involved in a road accident. What next do we have?
Sad. So we also have Kanganja declares police ready for August 12 pause. Now this is something that we were waiting to hear. Looking at how there's so many negativities that we have seen from the police, and of course Mr. Kanganja also had to make sure that the police are in order with regards to that incident of the stray bullets of Nsamansama and the other UPND
supporter.
Supporter. So with regards to that, many people lost their confidence in the police, but looking at how he has said that the police are ready, so meaning there will be peace and order. We're hoping for that. Yeah.
I think that's the role of the police. The role of the police is to bring peace, order, you know, to make sure that things, and also to protect, you know, like I said earlier, election period is quite, it's tense.
Yeah.
And people are agitated, people get excited, people overdo things, and also there's a lot of lawlessness when it comes to when people are campaigning. But fortunately, I don't know whether it's unfortunately, we won't have campaigns this time around because of the COVID-19, obviously. But then we see how certain times there's a bit of carelessness on the roads. People are doing all sorts of things, and so it's very important that the police are ready just to maintain law and order, and possibly just make sure that everybody's in check. Like, you know, the police should be a moral compass for everybody. Like, you know, let's just do things properly. And I think it's a step in the right direction, considering that we're in a very critical time building up to the elections. Yes, what else do we have?
Okay, so this one, I found this very weird. I found this story very weird, and it says a Chongwe man bites off the wife's nipple. Okay, and police in Chongwe district have arrested a 34-year-old man for biting off the wife's nipple, and the person was charged with grievous bodily harm.
It's very sad. Gender-based violence in all forms is just wrong. I feel like, you know, if you can't stay together, if you can't see eye to eye, it's belache malikan. This one goes that way, that one goes that way, and like you finding yourself in a situation where you bite off your wife's nipple.
Yes, it doesn't.
And then you end up in police custody. You end up in problems and you know, this is the same thing we were talking about, anger. You know, people need to really tame their anger. If you're angry, just walk out of the situation. You won't lose anything. So now, it's sad.
it could be very hard to walk
and
out,
very
but
painful, I think, for the woman. Painful.
it's so sad to see such happening.
It's
but
hard to walk out.
honestly, it's hard to walk out. It's very hard.
I
But
know.
if you don't want to walk out of that, let's say, a relationship, at least that moment when you feel your partner is angry with you, refrain, leave them alone.
But this is a husband. So which means that when they were
They
dating,
should lock themselves in the room. You go somewhere else. In
Look.
the other room.
Sibongile, some of the things that happen, I'm not saying that I'm blaming the woman, but some of these things that happen are red flags, even in the relationship. Are you telling me that you could not see that your partner, while you were dating, had anger issues? Because it all starts from there, right? For me, I believe that sometimes it's certain things that we have tolerated as women. If in the relationship you see that your partner has anger outbursts and whatnot, I think you need to put your foot down and tell him, this I cannot tolerate. Sometimes certain things, I'm not saying that the women have led to these gender-based violence acts, but sometimes it's because we enabled it, we tolerated it, and just saying, azaka chinja, he will change, he will change, he will change. But you find that marriage, people that have gotten married, marriage begins to reveal, because you're going to live with this person for the rest of your life, and there's no pretense anymore. So marriage opens you up to the real person. If he had a little anger issues, it means that there's got to be more where that was coming from. And marriage only exposes that. And it gets to a point where you've invested in a lot, emotions, time, maybe there are children involved, your husband is beating you and you're like, I can't leave because of the children. But life is life.
I love the part where you've talked about in a relationship there's pretense. But how about those who were pretending to be, good, they don't get angry, and I don't easily get upset, I easily brush off things. And then you settle down in one house now. Like
the true monster comes out.
Exactly.
The ones that are good at acting, that they were masking up their who they really are. There are such situations, but you see, when you've dated someone this is why sometimes it's quite important to date someone for a long time. So that you're able to know, you know what I mean? You can't pretend to be nice the whole time.
It's true.
I don't think it's possible. But anyway, people will be people. But over and up, I think it's really sad that it gets to that point. And I hope she doesn't have.
Honestly.
It's very sad.
I wonder how she's. What if I don't even know what to say? The situation
It takes a lot,
she's in,
man.
You don't even
It takes
know
a
how
lot
you're
to
going
bite off someone's nipple.
Exactly.
Shame.
So, anyway.
Shame. And any other stories?
Okay, so we also have a weird one, and it says, my husband can only sleep with my nipple in his mouth. So that's the way the husband sleeps.
Is that
Okay,
the
so
one
this
that
is
beat
a-
off the...
No, this is another one, but it's similar. So this one only sleeps, even though they say atuma amewakulela, this one is just too much.
He's a baby.
He's a baby, so he only wants to sleep.
I don't think I have any comment on that.
I also had
I'm just
no
really
comments,
shocked.
just to bring it out, and it's weird. That's why I even picked on this one, because
I don't know why I think it's witchcraft. I don't know why I think it's witchcraft. Could it be witchcraft?
so you just want to, so he wants to be lelad.
He wants to be lelad. He's a baby. He's Uncle
To
Baby.
men are babies.
Uncle Baby.
Yeah,
Wow,
Uncle
that is so weird, but I think that's funny too.
It's weird and mostly funny.
Very
so,
funny.
Yeah, on that note, that's all we had on the stories that are trending.
All right, so I wish I had any other. I don't know.
Okay,
I
just
think
to
things
fuse
miss-
in one more.
Okay.
Just to fuse in one more. So there has been stories trending towards the workers who were not paid, the arrears who were not paid. So this one says the government has released 200 million to pay off arrears it owes to public service workers, and government says it will clear these arrears within 6 months. So this is something positive.
Something very positive, and I hope that puts an end to the go slow that the doctors were having, the resident doctors were having, because right about now we need every frontline worker.
Yeah,
like
we need
every
them.
frontline worker just needs to be hands-on and be able to just give in their expertise in terms of managing the COVID-19, because this is a serious thing. And also I feel like it's just important that their grievances are heard. Their grievances need to be heard, because these people are what can I say, these people save lives. You understand? They save lives, and I feel you don't want to be attended to by a demotivated, angry doctor. He might just want to take that out. Obviously, the aim is to save and protect life, but a human being is always going to be a human being. Can you imagine you're coming to work and you being old, and then you don't want that situation? I think it's time that maybe the right channels were done, there was proper engagement, and also they come to an agreement and be able to settle these areas. And if that is the case, it's good. Very, very good news that these doctors can be motivated, because I mean, money is such a motivator.
Yeah, it is.
It is such a motivator, and then because
but
these are
maybe some only depend on that same money, so there's that frustration where people had to go outside and it's a good
but I think all civil servants across the board, regardless of whether they're doctors or any other profession, I think they contribute to the development of this country one way or the other. The teachers, the nurses, everybody, you know what I mean? We're a country that, for us to go forward, a lot of contribution. We need each other. It's like the body, for it to function, we need everyone's input. And so if they are motivated to trickle down, and there's going to be productivity, that's something to applaud the government for.
Okay, and on that note, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at our news and current affairs segment. Stay tuned.
What do you see? You see Zambia with its vast natural resources, the optimism and hard work of its people. Look up to the sky. There's the sun shining on our brightest possibilities. Look at our country, God's gift, creating jobs and opportunities, empowering men and women to care for their families. You deserve a prosperous nation, communities driven by healthy and vibrant people. You deserve true greatness from this country we call home. You deserve Zambia's beauty, attracting tourists and reviving our economy with its resources. Our dreams are more than just possibilities. They are tomorrow's reality. Never be afraid to step out into the Zambia you see around you, proud and free as you do whatever you can with whatever you have, whoever and wherever you are. Look around you. The sun rises on our possibilities every day, and now we must rise with it.
This message is brought to you by the Socialist Party.
kuchita vyonse mfayo kuchita upamulo utungo wenu yewe mwesheni kuchinsa chenu mwesheni kumana yenu
ndafiro kumona mapange wankwatila chila nkosolo kwisa mucheni chenu yawe fintu chitae fana shiva bila michena nomba ndakonkanya po just me muleni mwele salelo pantu paula imwe na fiwa chinjeni mwele salelo kumpele shinalimbi
Good morning and welcome back to Daylight Breakfast Show. In case you are just joining us, well, you have missed a lot because we have covered a lot of things here on Daylight Breakfast Show. But not to worry, do not despair, because we are streaming live on our Facebook page and YouTube, KBN TV Zambia. Get commenting, get liking, get sharing, and let's just have a wonderful time this morning together. And in this segment, we just want to bring you stories that made headlines in the news yesterday, and the headlines are as follows. Pilato Chipenzi speak out on Kanganja's presidential probation. Raphael Nakachinda calls HH an imperialist tribal politician. Government says Resident Doctors Association of Zambia is not a union. And in foreign news, US and Denmark pressed over spying allegations. And in sports, Chipolopolo off to Senegal for international friendly matches.
Okay, and we take a look at stories in detail. Our first story as follows. As Kanganja's 6 months presidential probation nearly comes to an end, some members of the public have spoken out. As Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja will soon be completing his 6 months probation imposed on him by President Edgar Lungu last December 2020, and some members of the public have given their views. In an interview with KBN TV News, McDonald Chipenzi, Executive Director of Governance, Elections Advocacy Research Services, GEARS, says the 6 months was too short for the police IG to clean up the service. Chipenzi says the police boss has done nothing to acquit himself during his probation. Mr. Chipenzi has called on President Lungu to act and release Kanganja after the probation has elapsed. In a separate interview, renowned activist Fumba Chama, popularly known as Pilato, says it is time for the police service to be headed by someone who can deliver and serve the public better.
Labour Commissioner Givens Muntengwa has charged that Resident Doctors Association of Zambia is not the right body to champion the rights of doctors in the country. Muntengwa guided that only unions and associations registered under the Industrial and Labour Relations Act have the mandate to represent workers in industrial disputes, adding that the Resident Doctors Association of Zambia has no recognition agreement to carry out such functions. The Labour Commissioner has disclosed that on Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, when he was invited to attend a meeting at the Ministry of Health where the association president and other members were present, he guided that all union activities were regulated by the law under Industrial and Labour Relations Act. He added that any association registered outside Industrial and Labour Relations Act cannot talk about union activities or represent employees in the bargaining process, of which Resident Doctors Association of Zambia is not registered.
Okay, and in other stories, we have former Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda says Zambians should talk development and not tribe ethnicity ahead of the August post-general elections. The former minister has cautioned Zambians against voting for individuals that are bent on promoting tribe and ethnicity in the coming August 12 polls. Nakachinda has told Zambians to reject all leaders that push the negative card on one's tribe and religions where they come from, naming opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema as the architect of the negative vice. Speaking when he featured on a radio program in Chipata, Nakachinda notes that tribal and ethnic politics will only divide the country instead of building.
And Paramount Chief Chitimukulu Henry Kanyanta Manga Sosala II, subordinate chief, says they are disappointed by the conduct of Opposition United Party for National Development UPND's attacks on the Paramount Chief. UPND Deputy Secretary General Patrick Mucheleka 5 days ago in an interview with a prominent online publication alleged that Chitimukulu had sold out the Bemba land for endorsing Professor Nkanduluo as President Edgar Lungu's running mate. But Chief Nkole Mfumu of Kasama District in Northern Province said no one had the authority to question the decision of Paramount Chief Chitimukulu as the endorsement of Professor Nkanduluo was final. Last year on 15th September 2020, Paramount Chief Chitimukulu refused to meet UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, stating that there was no way he could have met individuals that demeaned him.
Okay, and in other stories, we have Resident Doctors Association of Zambia Go Slow has entered day 5. Members of the association who spoke to KBN News crew says the membership has voted to continue with the Go Slow until their demands are met. In a letter that was addressed to President Lungu by RDAZ, Vice President highlighted that the stated challenges have been in existence since 2011. As of yesterday, the members of RDA say no official has addressed them, but instead they have continued to receive more threats than solutions.
And in other news, civil society is scaling up nutrition alliances called on government to create an enabling environment for the milk production and dairy sector and invest more in nutrition programs in order for the producers to produce more milk. Speaking at the World Milk Day press briefing, Association Country Coordinator Matthews Muhuru reveals that milk is very important in the growth of children nutrition-wise. Muhuru says the private sector must also come on board to safeguard the environment for milk production. Speaking at the same event, Zambia country manager Yuri Chuva says that stakeholders need to work together as partners and create an impact on Zambia's economy through milk production.
Okay, and in other stories, Advocates for National Development and Democracy, ANDD, has appealed to Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, RDAZ, to resume normal working as they wait for government to address their grievances. ANDD Executive Director Samuel Banda has observed that this is a critical time for Zambia, adding that, according to the Ministry of Health, the country is on the verge of the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. He says this is not the right time for a go-slow, adding that continuing with this action only cements the allegations that the move by RDAZ is political. Banda says the association is being used by a certain opposition party to gain political mileage. He says health practitioners deal with people's lives and cannot mix with politics.
And Zambian Institute of Governance and Civil Liberties Association platform ZClub is appealing to the Resident Doctors Association of Zambia to reconsider its position of continuing the go-slow. ZClub Executive Director Francis Chipili says the action compromises the better common good, putting the entire nation's health at risk. He has since advised the association that industrial harmony and bargaining cannot be successfully done through the media. Chipili has urged politicians to desist from using professional institutions to champion their selfish regime change agenda.
Okay, and remember to be interactive. We're still streaming live on our Facebook page. If you're watching us there, feel free to be interactive and tell us what you think about the particular stories that we're bringing to light. And in other stories, we have Fight Inequality Alliance Zambia FAI coordinates Louise Yabanda says her organization believes that the unjust action taken against doctors through arrests, revoking of licenses, and all manner of threats is exactly what the president said in his speech, that they are dangerous and a breakdown of the works of his spirit. She says the COVID-19 pandemic has shown just how crucial their work is, adding that they braved and continue fighting the virus to keep other workers and people alive. Banda says the country is recording new cases, riding on the first tide of the third wave, and her organization is concerned that the plight of doctors is as equal laborers in the economy is not being taken seriously.
I agree. I think I agree with her. I agree with her so much because the doctors risk their lives. They are the frontline workers. They risk it all for us. Because can you imagine every day you're treating people that have COVID-19. So many of the doctors have actually fallen sick, and some of them have even died, unfortunately. And so I think it's very important that government puts into consideration their grievances and addresses them as soon as possible, so that they can be motivated to be able to take care of people, particularly now that we're getting into the third wave.
Yeah.
And in other stories, Party of National Unity and Progress, PNUP, says any presidential candidate seeking office after the August 12 elections should ensure that his manifesto is to improve the lives of the Zambian people. PNUP President Hivi Hamududu says it should start from reducing the number of ministers from 28, number that the president can sustain. He says the number of ministers currently is the reason why government has a lot of debt and arrears, especially in making payment for civil servants.
Okay, I don't even know what to really say about the story, but I feel the number of ministers even lessens the burden, okay, because the country is a large country. We have so many provinces, and these are the people who have to look at the things that people are going through. They need to provide the solutions also. So I feel 28 is not even a big number.
But I think also they already scrapped off the deputy ministers. Do you know that there are no deputy ministers now, but they have permanent secretaries, and in districts they've got district commissioners. They've got people at every level. So it's, I think 28, unless we remember that we have ministers of certain ministries, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, and the like. Then we have provincial ministers, Minister of Lusaka, Minister of this and that. So maybe I think it's coming from a point where they should scrape off the provincial ministers and probably have only district commissioners and the mayors of the particular cities and things like that. Maybe he has a point, but I don't know. I can't comment further.
Okay, so we also have Patriotic Front Media Director Antonio Mwanza has questioned as to why President Edgar Lungu is being mentioned in the burning issues concerning inmates' 2 weeks vacation. He says people should not bring the name of the president into ridicule because the president did not issue any statement. Mwanza says the law has also been in existence after the quoted this act of 1965, which states that the President of the Republic of Zambia can issue a certificate of release, a license or release, I beg your pardon, to an inmate who is on a life saving, who has proven to the authorities that the inmate is reformed and it is not a risk to society.
Wow, I think this issue is quite contentious. I mean, if you're looking at it from a very different perspective, because can you imagine you had a child that was raped, and then that the person that raped, probably your child was raped and maybe murdered, and the person that did that was put away for life, only to hear that that person is coming back 2 weeks vacation. I don't know, but I don't know, maybe this thing needs clarity.
Yeah, it needs clarity.
Maybe it needs
people
clarity.
Are taking this in different ways. People
Yes.
have different views towards this,
Mhm.
and of course, opinions are allowed. But anyway,
I think what we need really is clarity, so we don't just speculate and come up with different theories. And you know how it is when there's no speculation, when something is not clear, people begin to speculate. So I think maybe what we need is clearance, like, a clear-cut roadmap regarding this thing concerning the 2 weeks vacation. All right, and agriculturist Dr. Frank Kayula has uploaded the Food Reserve Agency after its announcement to purchase white maize at 150 kwacha per 50 kg bag in the 2021-2022 crop marketing season. Dr. Kayula says the pricing by FRA is welcome as it is the highest figure given by the agency. FRA board chairperson Kelvin Hambwezia yesterday said that the purchasing price of white maize had increased by 40% from the previous farming season.
okay. And in foreign news, we have European powers have pressed the US and Denmark over reports the two worked together to spy on top European politicians, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Danish broadcaster DR said Denmark's Defense Intelligence Service FE collaborated with the US National Agency to gather information from 2012 to 2014. Mrs. Merkel is among those demanding answers. Mrs. Merkel said she agreed with Mr. Macron's comments, but that she was also reassured by the Danish Defense Minister's condemnation. Intelligence was allegedly collected on the officials from Germany, France, Sweden, and Norway. Those nations have also called for explanations. Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg told public broadcaster NRK that it's unacceptable if countries which have close allied cooperation feel the need to spy on one another.
All right, and finally in sports, the Chipolopolo national team has left for Senegal for an international friendly. The team left aboard Ethiopian Airlines and will make a stopover in Addis Ababa before proceeding to TS via Dakar. Zambia plays Senegal on 5th June before heading to Cotonou, where they will play the Scurs of Benin on the 8th of June. The final match will be against Sudan in Omdurman on June 11. And that sporting item brings us to the end of the news and current affairs segment. But please stay tuned because we're going to be coming back with Geneva Zulu as she brings us 2nd of June 2021. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, Nachuama. Hello, road network. I'm a bridge.
Gama hospital. Eh? Ma hospital in Palampala.
Patients and the community are really appreciating this provision.
Gama school.
We learn freely without even being bothered about the school fees because we know that the government are paying for us.
In a month, na kocha vija vama nsomba nsomba. Akwa kaucha. Na vama light vija energy sector. Kasi kurumwa kwelele pofu.
Keep an eye on development every Thursday at 19 hours and every Saturday at 17 hours, only on KBN TV, the finest television.
To you, our father.
So mrefu afidonse tuleza mupapatira kuno nani.
I told you that I don't want you. Shire kwaya.
Wewe ni kwatira ma plans, our future plans. Tuikare pam.
I am in love with someone else. Stay away from my life.
Akuchora nintiti. Kamsikana kaje kumwenda nako.
So ndiye viwani nimikira hapa.
Ile tinkuchange zenkona.
Me, I don't care. You get the point, eh? Go and tell them that the guy is ready for anything.
Abachora ntita. Una nikatupi ngati mosquito.
Now shimone mnyefu. Ni lion mujango mkango munda wanga ine kukuipaya. So yumuka yobari akamasha kare tubikira pona kwa. Ndwari kulake yobari. Toma nefe. Now bika not to my headset. Hello ira pompa muntu andine kupomporora.
Bakamba tikashitetsani akakanza.
Nyakakare pwa kafuka fanisha.
Mwachi.
But gero bafika nawo kuzona.
Nari kweva nje birure puta afa kupomporora.
Sinza kabweza hapo.
Tawika bwekesha hapo.
Okay, boss, namvera baboss.
Ngawekesha hapo next time kukufanisha. Now wamona abantu and very ready to give.
Very much late wambera.
Wirangara. Leonfu.
Lasa na wambera. Mwachi ni wa mkango wambera ka.
Para kuita manjeri
Written and directed by Kaonga Mpanga Fiela. Coming soon.
Good morning and welcome back to Daily Breakfast Show with me, Rachel Mumba. In studio today, I have been joined by Geneva Zulu. Geneva, good morning.
Good morning, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. It's actually good to be with you. And said I've never been. Hey,
I know, right? This is the first time, so
I know.
It feels a little different.
It feels a little different, yes, but it's good. It's good. And Geneva is here to give us woman crush, because you know today's Wednesday and it's everything women.
Yes.
So we want to know who's our woman crush for today, Geneva.
Today's Wonder Woman is Musole Catherine Kaseketi. Do you know her?
The name.
The name is familiar.
The name is familiar.
Musole Catherine Kaseketi was born in 1968, and she's a Zambian filmmaker and human rights activist.
Okay.
So she's the Zambia's first female professional film director.
Okay.
I always like the first part. You know, when someone says
Yes,
first female
first-
Zambian,
yes.
it just gives you that pride as a woman. And so Kaseketi was born in October 1968 in Solwezi, but she spent her early life in Kawe due to like government relocation policy. So as a young child, a medical error went wrong. So a student nurse paralyzed one of her legs.
Oh.
Yeah, so she has mobility difficulties because of that. And then she trained as a tailor, tailoring and designing. And then she later moved to Zimbabwe to study theater. So she graduated from Newton Film and Television School in South Africa. Later in her life, she studied for qualifications in America and Europe, including courses with the Columbia University School of International and Political Affairs. So she trained as a disabled person,
Okay.
but she persevered in everything that she did,
Yes.
from tailoring and designing to political and public affairs to filming and stuff
Filmmaking.
like that. So she was really doing good compared to people that are able-bodied. And also in her first film, Sui, which means faith, she wrote and directed it, which was released in 2009. I really want to see that movie.
Me too.
Because every time when you look up her profile, they're going to bring the Sui movie, so I need to look that up. So it was released in 2009 and was screened in several European countries, as well as South Africa. So she has directed episodes of the Zambian soap opera Kabanana.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
Wow.
So, as well as numerous documentaries, she's the founder of Vilole Images, a non-profit foundation which educates young Zambian filmmakers. And also, like I said, she has directed Sui and also a movie called Dreams of the Forgotten Youth, which came out in 2012, and also a movie called The Broken Human, which came out in 2013, and also a student film which is called Making a Difference in Life, which came out in 1999. She's also founded the Zambia's first international film festival, which is called Sungu Namutitema, which means the smoke that thunders.
Wow.
Yeah. So Kaseketi is the Zambia South Africa co-director of Art Watch International. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so Art Watch International, and she has the Zambia Society for Cinematography. So her human rights work, shortly after the release of Sui, Kaseketi was approached by a group of disabled women because they said, I like how you put disabled women in your film, because have you ever seen a movie where they just portray disabled people to just bring out awareness?
An actual disabled person?
Yes.
You could have somebody acting disabled, but you won't have an actual disabled person. Yes.
Yeah. So there are not too many movies about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So people actually approached her, and because they were inspired by the film, and then she later set up what is called Pachivanse. So Pachivanse Corner is a women's meeting corner. So it's like a group for disabled women where they sit and discuss about social issues. So yeah, Musole Catherine Kaseketi is our woman crush for today.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. I really want to meet that woman because I love to, most of the time there's so many Zambian women that have done so many great things, and it's high time that the light was shone on them just to see that look, women are no longer supposed to sit in the kitchen and just, it's a good thing, yes, to have children, yes, to get married, yes, but there's so much more that women can do, but also to think about a disabled person. She could have just justified that and says, look, I'm disabled, I'm not going to do anything, but she's done a lot of things.
To be a woman alone is hard. Now to be a disabled woman
is even harder.
People will just think, okay, so then
what do you have to offer?
Your role as a woman, first you can't do anything at home, so what are you going to do? So then she proved people wrong, saying, no, I can do this and this. I think when you see the picture, you will know her. Because equally, when I heard her name, I was like, oh, okay, her last name sounds familiar. But when I saw her picture, I was like, oh, it's this lady. Okay. You really need to look
She
her
really
up.
defied the odds, and I love that about her. Yes. I think we need to just, applaud her for just shining the light, and also just for raising the flag for women and also the disabled people, because they're the marginalized in society, and nobody really talks about them, and nobody really brings them to the fore. But seeing a disabled woman do that much greatness, I think is something to be proud of as a woman as well. So that this segment of our Woman Crush Wednesday brings us to the end of Daylight Breakfast Show. It was an amazing time. I'm so glad that you could come and just tell us, about that, about Musole. We're really, really proud. And so make sure to stay protected. The COVID-19 third wave is upon us. Please wear your masks, avoid crowded places, maintain social distancing, wash your hands with soap and water, and sanitize your hands where you don't have soap and water with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. And together we'll fight the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. Join us again tomorrow, same time, here on Daylight Breakfast Show. But be sure to stay tuned to KBN TV, the finest television. Bye.
Good morning.
Hello to my early risers. Are you tired of not having anything to do early in the morning? Well, guess what? I'm bringing to you the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, where we get to know what to do in the morning on the morning daily habits. We'll get some updates on what's happening in the news and current affairs. And guess what? If you're one person who is never on social media, I will be here to also update you on the trending stories.